life and death, sadness, sorrow.
Fear. It evoked some scary emotions.
I dreaded more than most things.
I was terrified. I was just absolutely frightened of the idea that somebody that close to me had been diagnosed.
My cancer story starts with my birth mom. She was diagnosed when she was pregnant with me with cancer, multiple complications throughout her whole body, and I was born 6 weeks premature, and she died 8 months after that. And so she died when I was 8 months old, and she's the reason why I fight against cancer.
The reason why I fight is for my friend Stacy. She was just diagnosed with breast cancer, and she started chemotherapy a couple weeks ago before they go in and do any surgery. So it's very important that, you know, awareness is raised about this horrible disease, because anyone can be stricken with it.
I first learned about cancer when I was 8. That's when I found out that my uncle was diagnosed with sarcoma. I didn't quite know what it was, and my parents explained it to me, and still wasn't quite sure about it. But as I grew older, I learned more and more. I saw the sickness, how it affects people, how it affected my family, especially after he died, and it's continued. I went to my grandpa, and he got cancer also, and it's been with me for a while.
I was in a children's hospital, and there was a sign on the wall on one of the floors that said Children's Cancer Unit. And I turned to my brother and I said, "How sad, kids with cancer." And a couple days later, my sister was moved to that floor, and we found out that she had cancer.
When I was in junior high school, my mom was diagnosed with anal cancer, and I was at a place where I didn't even know if I could take care of myself, let alone my mother and my father, who was kind of really affected by it. And I really learned that I was strong enough to take care of my family and make food and do the laundry and make sure that she had, had her treatment, and make sure my dad was eating and working, and just take care of everyone. It really gave me the strength to know that when I went to college and had to be an adult and a grown-up, I kind of could.
My grandmother, who I lived with for most of my life up to 16, survived several different kinds of cancers, and basically ended up being one of the strongest role models into my life up to now.
Why do I want to be so involved? What am I gonna learn from this? And the thing that I've learned is that there are things about me that I've wanted to change, and by going through this learning process, I have changed a lot of those things. And I feel as without this, I may have never realized those things about myself.
It kind of builds a foundation to hardships, so if something that drastic happens, maybe something more minor you can handle easier. Like, oh, well, it's not that bad compared to, how my family's been through.
The thing that brings me hope is to see that my mother was able to survive.
What I've learned from my grandmother's experience is that the disease itself can be beaten.
I've seen people battle cancer and win. I've seen so much strength in people who have been battling cancer that it truly gives me hope that there are survivors everywhere, but it really gives me hope that when people hear the words "you have cancer," they don't see it as a death sentence anymore.
Seeing people who are really trying to fight back is, especially in my age group, is really, really powerful.
Cancer is curable in our lifetime. We just need to continue fighting for fundraising, fighting for funding for different research grants for new clinical trials, early detection and screening programs, as well as fighting for legislative advocacy, which could impact the overall scheme of things.
My grandmother died from cancer.
My grandmother was a cancer survivor.
My mother is a melanoma survivor.
And my mom's an anal cancer survivor.
My father is a survivor.
My birth mom had cancer and died.
My sister is a cancer survivor.
My grandmother is a rare blood cancer survivor.
A close friend of mine is a cancer survivor.
To leave behind a few kids and a wife.